Good morning, my friends. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good to see all of you and your beautiful smiling faces this fine Saturday morning, at least where I am. And looking forward to chatting all things business marketing is step number one. Let me know, can you hear me? I'm testing out a slightly different mic with a slightly less MacGyvered contraption. So I've got it over there. So we'll see if all works well. Let me know. And otherwise, oh man, we're going to have a good time today. This is the last random weird time before we go back to normal times next week. So let me see if we can get the chat to catch up. Oh, Jeff, you're in the Dominican Republic. That's cool. All right, hang on. We're gonna say hi, and then we're going to go through loud and clear from Yord. Okay, awesome. Thank you. That is amazing. We're off to a good start. Let me see if I can do my usual resizing thing here. How did we do this last time? There we go. A click, a drag, a move. Killer. Also, what's nifty about this software is because I'm streaming through Ecamm Live, all of those previous chats that were in the YouTube thing, I can't see anymore. So it's a fresh start. So why don't we dive in? First of all, oh yeah, sorry, that's right. I'll let you guys continue your chat. But yes, I am in Hawaii right now. The last week here, we've been here for a month, which is a crazy amount of time. It's really flown by, but we are getting back. Oh yeah, you guys are chatting. That's good. Okay, hang on. Let's keep going. There we go. Kevin, good afternoon from Lakeland. Kevin, good to see you. Jeff, and we changed it from Jefferson to Jeff. I'm aware of all these things. I like when you guys have your names in the avatars. Makes it a little easier for me to figure out who people are. I don't mind if we stick with our avatar names as well. But all right, almost time. Ready as always, preparing my questions, length and relevance. Good man. It's amazing. Basically, a free session with the business coach. Yeah, I will forever appreciate it. I appreciate you being here and spending the time to clarify your questions. On that note, hey, if anybody wants a couple tips on how to ask good questions that are more likely to be answered, length is definitely important. So what you want to do is you want to provide the most amount of context possible in the shortest way possible. So if you can give me the most information without making it be like 10 paragraphs long. So it's like what the business is, who the market is, what you sell, what the problem is, like you can do that pretty quick. So it's like, I'm a business guy that sells this thing to this people, but no one's buying because we think it's the offer or this, or like Facebook ads aren't working because we can't get them approved or whatever that is. Also never, if you can, this is a bit of a, I don't want to say a pet peeve, but like a piece of advice, never ask Googleable questions. So it's like, how do I install a Facebook pixel? Something super simple like that. It's like anything you can Google, I'll probably pass over. Okay, GBP Aloha from the west side of Oahu. Hey, beautiful. Which part? West side. Like we talking Iwa Beach, Koalina, north? What's north? It's not Malachi. Can't remember. What's it up there? I'm on the Big Island right now, west side as well, Waikoloa area. Flipkick won't be able to join today, but have a nice day, Adam. Yeah, awesome, my friend. Hopefully you catch the replay. I appreciate you tuning in, Jeff. You know it. Corporal Diesel, you're doing good. Good to see you, and glad your wife is tuning in as well. Let's see. From Central Texas. That's right. We got our Texas people tuning in. Also, we got 45 people watching, 13 thumbs up so far. We got to change that ratio so that this shows up in more people's feeds. If you would be so kind. Man, that is a big question. Hang on. Or a big avatar. There we go. Also, pardon the cough. We're still, I have this thing. So it's like I don't even know how many times I've been to Hawaii now. Less than 10, but probably getting around there. And like every time I get a cough, and I get it on like the flight over, and then it stays with me for like a whole month, and then I go home and it goes away. What's up with that? But let's move on. The lives are getting late and late with each one that passes. Unfortunately, we got school the day after, so what to say about changing it back? Unless, of course, you prefer chilling. Yeah, so nothing to do with chilling, everything to do with being in Hawaii. But we are going back next week, and then things are going back to their usual scheduled time. 𝗪𝗵𝗂, good evening from North London. Good evening. I spent a lot of time in North London as well. Buenas tardes. ¿Cómo estás? Adam and everyone, always a pleasure to be here. As always, thank you watching from the scorching heat of the Dominican. Yeah, what is it now? It's March, late March. Yeah, it's got to be getting warm. Are you there on vacation, Jeff? Are you just chilling, or is that home base for a while? Corporal Diesel, hear me fine. Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Hear me perfectly. Good. Okay, Jerry. Oh man, every time I open a question that's longer, I might have to put this down. Hang on. Let's do it this way. Hang on, Jerry. You're going to say hi to everybody in a big way. We're going to do it this way. Da, 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 da. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to have to try to move some of my other things around here. That's the other problem. I've got all these like pop-ups and windows and things to help me navigate, but it gets tricky. Okay, aloha from New York. Excited to make the Saturday live session. Again, my question, do you have any recommendation of reputation management platforms a small business should look into? Okay, so reputation management, good question. Here's the deal. When it comes to reputation management, essentially there are a number of different tools you can use. Some are free, some are paid. The simplest and the easiest one, and probably something everybody should do, is something called Google Alerts. What Google Alerts allows you to do is to put in a specific keyword. You can put in your company name, you can put in your personal name, and then anytime it appears online somewhere, an alert will pop up. Now you can have it send you notifications, you can have it just all appear internally, but that is by far the easiest and kind of the lowest hanging fruit option. From there, there's a number of different pieces of software. There are none that I'm super in love with that I'm like, you've got to go get this one. It's the best one. So if you just go to Google and type like reputation management software, you'll find some. And what you'll see is that they're basically they're prettier versions of Google Alerts. So you're going to pay a premium, normally not very expensive, but that's going to give you access to a similar set of features and allow you to possibly come in and do some other things. Now, if you're looking for services that are going to respond to reviews and track if something's getting copyrighted or whatever it is, then you're looking at slightly more professional services, normally run by someone, and then the cost goes up significantly from there. So Google Alerts, start there and go from there. All right, 𝗪𝗶𝗶, good to see you. Good to see you too, my friend. William. Hey, Adam, I'm trying to start a service company. Waste management to be exact. Oh, I love that one. I love it. I'll tell you why in a minute. I was wondering how to get an email list. I'm also wondering the percentage of money I should be spending on marketing. Okay, these are good questions. Good questions. First of all, the reason that I like waste management is the same reason that I like basically any what we'll call unattractive industries. And it's because the competition is significantly less. So if you're looking at like quote unquote sexy industries like video editing, photography, food, fashion, anything like that, they tend to attract a lot of people. Art, perfect example, art. Awesome industry. Who doesn't want to draw or paint or design stuff for a living? But that means it is super competitive. We're talking red ocean, sharks in the water. You need significant areas of differentiation. You go for businesses like, I don't know, mobile storage containers, waste management, the epitome of like an unsexy industry, money to be made, money to be made. So I'm cool on that. Now, how to get an email list? Well, question or the answer number one is, do you even need an email list? Probably. I mean, I like them as well, but it's like, with a service like that, your best bet is to probably use some kind of search marketing where someone is looking for the service and then you appear in either SEO, search engine optimization, which is probably going to be tough for a new business, or search engine marketing, PPC, pay-per-click. So Google Ads are probably going to be your best friend here. I'm not going to lie. You're going to have to learn how to use them. You're going to have to learn what your numbers are, what your cost of customer acquisition is. There's quite a lot to it, but that's going to be kind of the key to unlocking next levels of growth. I would advise learning that yourself if you can to avoid having to hire an agency. This will also be your friend. You can get away with the entry-level package there. You don't need the super, super expensive one, but you'll want to run your Google Ads through this, and that will allow you to then send an SMS, which I would advise more than an email list, but then you can also do email from there. So that's step one. How much money should you be spending on marketing? Fantastic question. Very different depending on what kind of business or industry you're in, as well as the maturity level of your business itself. Is it a startup? Is it 5 years old? Is it 10 years old, etc.? When you're looking at like a physical products business that has very low margins, 10, 20, 30% or whatnot, we obviously can't afford to spend the same amount of money on marketing or we would just go broke overnight. When you're looking at a business with very high margins, SaaS, software as a service, very high margins, we're talking 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90. Sometimes the cost of a new customer is pennies on the dollar compared to the amount they're going to make. Some companies spend 50%. 60, 70% sometimes on their marketing budget of their overall revenue. The other thing you have to decide is, are you spending for growth, in which case you're going to be spending a lot more on marketing, or are you trying to optimize for profit, in which case you're going to be spending a lot less. So there is no fixed number. The kind of general rule that you'll find in textbooks is like 5%, 10%, 15%. But it's really what you're comfortable with. The big thing, especially in a startup, is that you need to spend whatever you're comfortable losing, and then you need to make sure that you're being as strategic as possible, that you're doing the right things in the right place for the right people. And that'll allow you to then grow your business, take the increase in revenue you get and put that back into your marketing. And that allows you to build sort of a perpetual marketing machine where you just keep making more and then spending more and then making more and then spending more. A good place to start. Brandon, happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday, Brandon. 𝗪𝗏 hello, Adam. I have a window cleaning business. It's another business I love. What's the best way to market a service-based business? So I love service-based businesses. They're my favorite ones to do marketing campaigns for. I don't know. I think they're like any business that I ever start. Maybe I'll start a coffee business one day, but like any business I start is pretty much always service-based. It just gives me the most freedom and flexibility, scalability. I don't like having to deal with COGS, cost of goods sold, and all of the accounting stuff. So I like service businesses. Most of the content on the channel you'll find is actually aimed at service businesses. I don't say it directly, but it's geared more that way. So if you go through the library, you're going to find a lot of stuff basically aimed directly at you. So how do you market a service business? The same way you market any other business, full stop. Let me put up a link to the cheat sheet. If you haven't got this yet, this is going to be the framework that I advise. Basically, we start with the model, then the market, then the message, the media, and the machine. Let's run through it real quick because for those of you who have been longtime subscribers here, you're going to know this, but it's a good refresher. And for those not familiar, this will change the way that you think about marketing. So step one, we need to identify the model. So let me pull up your question again here. Window cleaning business. Perfect. So what's my model? Well, we do window cleaning, but how do we do window cleaning? Do we offer packages? Is it a monthly retainer? Do we have subscriptions to window cleaning? What's our price points? What is the entire package that we're putting together that someone's getting? Are we making sure that we're selling things that have high enough demand? Are we in all of the things that go into the model itself? Then the market. Who is the ideal target market of our business? Their demographic details, age, gender, income, occupation, their geographic details, where do they live? When we're talking about a local business, it's going to be within, 5, 10, 15, 20 miles of wherever you are. Their psychographic details. What are their values, their attitudes, their lifestyles? What's their income level? Are we doing it residential? Are we doing commercial? All of these are factors. Then we go to message. This is where we identify the pains and the problems they have and the solutions that we offer, and then we help bridge the gap. So they have dirty windows, but everybody has dirty windows. So why is it that they need their windows cleaned? What is it that's so important that they get it done and get it done now? And why is this important to them? And then why do we do it better? Are we faster, safer, cleaner, insured, bonded, whatever? And then we basically put that together. Media, where are they active and present online? Typically one of the big four: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. YouTube's gonna be tricky on this one. I'd still probably do it. I wrote a quick tweet about that actually this morning. Someone was asking about is 2023 a good time to do YouTube? The answer is yes. We can talk about that more later. But my strategy has actually changed away from short form content back towards long form content. Sorry, the strategy I suggest most people do has changed. I used to let people off the hook a little bit saying, yeah, long form content's hard. That's cool. Just do short. I'm changing. Things have changed. There's been some updates recently. So long form, we got to find a way to do it. We can work on this together. So media, where are they active and present online? Then machine. So what is the funnel that I'm going to use in order to bring them into my world? Use this, sign up for the free trial. Do they have a window cleaning one? If not, they have something very close, like a snapshot it's called, and you can import the entire funnel into your account. Look at it, build it out yourself if you want, cancel your free trial, or have a chat with the team and see if it's right for you. Answer solved. Okay, Dr. Rob, hello from Park City, Utah. Hey, Dr. Rob, good to see you. All right, Jeff, with the ocean of information out there, it's a bit challenging to stay on course and focus on what's important. You are correct, sir. Playing every role in the business is not helping. How do you do it? Any advice? Oh, such a good question. Let me think about this one. I want to give you a good answer. We're going to have to probably take this in parts. So there's too much stuff. We're wearing lots of hats. How do I do it? All right. So what's a better way to put this? How do you essentially navigate the business world when you are a business owner, a solopreneur, a freelancer, a marketer? You're trying to do all of the things yourself. You're being spread in a million different directions. There is a nonstop wave of information coming at you, and it's never slowing down, by the way. So we do need to find ways to deal with this. How do you do it? Number one, you have to make sure that I recorded a video on this yesterday. I'm not sure if it's going to be released. It's worth talking about. It's important to make sure that the goals you have are actually your goals and they're actually important to you. So often, we're going to get a little nerdy here. There's something called the mimetic theory of desire. And the mimetic theory of desire essentially states that we create our goals and our wants and our desires based on looking at other people and judging what they have and then thinking, oh, I want that too. We need to make sure that the goals that you're choosing are actually yours, because if they're not and you don't actually care, you're not going to do the things that are required. There's a great quote that I heard from John Assaraf that his mentor said, which is, are you interested or are you committed? Because if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. And if you're committed, you'll do what it takes. And what it takes is more than most people want to hear about, but we can get there. So we need to make sure that this is actually something that's important to you. Now that we've established that it is important to you, we then have to look at things kind of holistically and take those goals and then break them down into daily actionable steps that are doable. So if we're trying to create all of the things all at once, there's no way we're ever going to do that. So we need to start prioritizing things in order of what's most important. So write down everything you need. Then we pick the top three. Those become our power list, and we tackle them one at a time. I do this by essentially always knowing what my top things are to do. Fortunately, after this many years, I've narrowed it down. Is that the best thing I can do almost always is to write. That's it. So it's like if I can get in like a 2-hour writing session a day, 2 or 3 hours, that's amazing. I'm normally able to crank out about 2,000 words, 1,000 of which is really good and 1,000 is complete and utter garbage that gets buried. But then from there, I've basically accomplished what I need to do. I can put that into posts or emails or courses or videos or whatever it is. So that's on my list. Then it's consume information. I have different sources that I go to depending how I'm feeling. And I also pull on the thread a little bit. So whatever I'm really curious or interested in, I'll start to do research and I'll figure more out about it. Books are great. Podcasts are great. Videos are great. But that's it. It's sort of being aware of your own limitations and what you're able to accomplish, and then also tackling things in bite-sized chunks and knowing that it never goes away. Like it never gets any easier. Someone told me this once. They're like, before you have money, you worry about like how you're going to get money. And then once you have money, you worry about how you're going to keep the money, and grow it. And it's 100% true. So it's like these concerns, these fears, these anxieties, these problems, that is life. We just have to find a way to deal with it. No one plans to fail. Hope you're doing well. For the armpit of the South Miami, this is David. Volume is spot on. Hey, David, good to see you. Oh man, I wonder if I saw you. Do you have 2 different accounts coming from 2 different places? Because that'd be interesting. Or do we just change the avatar? But all good. Okay, we covered that one. We're good. Jeff, starting marketing, do you recommend targeting a niche or what one is familiar with? I've had clients in e-com, travel, beauty, and the real estate industry. Personally, I like real estate a lot. Tony Robbins said once, what the world needs more of is passionate people. I agree. What the marketing world needs more of is people that genuinely care about a specific industry. So if there's one that you really like, say it's real estate, then yes, you can do really good things there and there's a lot of money to be made. Now, I will warn you that of all of these that you said, e-com, real estate, beauty, all of those are very competitive niches. But like kind of everything in marketing is competitive anyway. So it's like, okay, let's do real estate, but then is there a facet of it that you could do? Because also I probably wouldn't limit myself to a geographic area. Like I'd start with local realtors if that's the kind of real estate marketing we're talking about, but I would quickly figure out that I help this kind of realtor do this kind of thing with this kind of marketing. So I'd like niche and then I'd niche again. So are you going to do it through Facebook ads? Are you going to do it through whatever it is? Jeff, I saw your note about drowning in high level. This is the course. You definitely do want to go through that one. If you're going to do real estate, use high level and give your realtors conversations. So run like a Facebook ad through a lead form, like through an instant form that converts to an SMS, and have the SMS go to your realtor client's phone. And you will look like a magician once you figure out how to set it all up, which I appreciate is like, I don't know, probably a good 8 hours of studying the software, but then you'll have it. Elon, if you were to create an ad set to, let's say, a Spider-Man web shooter, which direction would you go for? UGC, user-generated content. Maybe very technical, depends on the audience. So if I was to create an ad set to, let's say, a Spider-Man web shooter, which direction would I go for? Okay, so if I'm creating an ad, that's a good question. I think I understand what you're asking, but let's play this out. I'm selling something that's, the question is, if I'm creating an advertising campaign for essentially, let's say Spider-Man something, how do I go about doing this? Number one is if we start right at the beginning, we've got our model set, it's something Spider-Man related. We then go to our market. Our market is Spider-Man friends or people that like Spider-Man, fans of Spider-Man stuff. So that tells us a lot. Then I can go to message. What I need to do is I need to figure out why people like certain aspects of Spider-Man, what they like about it, why this product or whatever it is missing from their collection or that would be interesting to have. And I can start to put together copy like that. Then I'm going to go to media, and I'm probably putting this bad boy on Facebook and Instagram 100% because it's easy and quick and I can do them both with a click of a button. Then possibly TikTok, possibly. But after I've basically exhausted Facebook and Instagram. Now, my copy is really going to be like, hey, fans of Spider-Man, or do you love Spider-Man? Do you have this thing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's my copy. My targeting, I'm going to target all of the interests around Spider-Man. So I'm going to be targeting comics. I'm going to be targeting, oh man, it's Marvel. Marvel, it's not DC, that's Batman. So I'm targeting Marvel, comics. I'm targeting comics in general. I'm targeting Comic-Con for events. I'm starting to think about what other interests comic book fans have that I could also leverage. So are they also interested in, I don't know, manga or anime or whatever it is? Like maybe there's a way that I could use those as secondary audiences. If I have an email list, I'm probably creating a lookalike. If I have a fan page, I'm building audiences off that. Lots of ways to spin it. But then I'm essentially creating probably 5, 6, 7 different ad variations on that ad, and I'm putting them all out there and seeing which one performs, doubling down from there. Okay, Josiah Castillo, is digital marketing self-employed or can they work for a company? Also, do they work hourly wages and not commission? Okay, digital marketing can be done any number of different ways. Digital marketing is much like accounting or law or, I don't know, maybe not human resource management. You can't really do that on yourself very much. Bookkeeping, kind of accounting. But essentially what it is it's an industry, and you can do it for yourself. You can do it for other people. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with other people. You can do it hourly. You can do it by retainer. Any way that you can possibly think of, you can do digital marketing, because essentially what we're doing with digital marketing is we're communicating value. We're trying to line up people that have a problem with one of ours or our clients or our company's solutions and putting that in front of them in an interesting and compelling way to get them aware of it, to get them interested to take action, to walk them through the process. All right, Assens Joel, hey bro, back at ya. Ambitious Endeavors, hey Adam, hey my friend, good to see you here. Oh, hey, Adam, it's Mocha. Good to see you, Mocha. Quick question. How can I use ChatGPT to create a solid marketing flow from lead to email with no paid advertising? I'm a beauty brand strategist with a full agency. Okay, so I have a video on this. It's called, what's it called? How I got ChatGPT to build me an entire marketing campaign. That will show you literally the complete answer to this question. But my recommendation is, first of all, let me put this cheat sheet back up. Okay, freemarketingcheatsheet.com. Here's what you're going to do. Here's how you get ChatGPT to build you an entire marketing campaign from start to finish. First of all, you need to map out the strategy that you're going to use by yourself, because ChatGPT responds to prompts, but we need to know what to prompt it with. So obviously you have your model dialed in. This is whatever it is that you're selling. Your market should probably be dialed in already as well. Your ideal customer avatar, who it is you're selling to. The message is where things get interesting. This is where I go to ChatGPT and I say, write me an organic Instagram caption, write me a Facebook post, write me a TikTok script, 30 seconds that says this, says it in a conversational way, but make it funny. Write me a 3-part email follow-up sequence for XYZ, whatever it is. So you're going to tell it to put all of those pieces together. You're going to copy and paste them, format them, edit them, etc. And then once we have that, we go to our media, which is where your people are present and active online. You put it in front of your ideal customers. Then with the machine, this is where ChatGPT isn't going to help you, because this is going to be the technical aspects of setting up the marketing funnel. So it's going to be posting on the right platforms. It's going to be linking up your email marketing software. It's going to be setting up any retargeting ads, all of that. But ChatGPT, or just GPT-4 as we're working with now, can essentially write all of the creative for you, and then you're just going to have to plug and play the pieces. All right, Sharon, hey, Mr. Adam, good to see you. I missed the last live, so honored to be here now. Well, I'm glad you could be here now. I'm glad you made it. And yes, for everyone here, next live will be at our regular time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, depending how jet lagged and awful I am. Traveling west is amazing. Traveling east, horrible. You just get destroyed. Okay, Elizabeth. Hey, Adam. Good to see you. Good to see you, Elizabeth. Thank you for all you do. My whole marketing strategy is on LinkedIn. So I'm sending in-mails, and I want to know if I should send normal emails as well. So I guess my question to you is, how are those in-mails working? My experience with it is that in-mails typically work about as well as regular email. So let's take this from the beginning. LinkedIn marketing strategy. Let's talk about it. We have a couple different tools and options available within the LinkedIn platform, some of which are going to be more successful than others. My least favorite is sending messages to people through LinkedIn that's like, hey, Adam, I saw your profile, thought we should connect. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many of those I have sitting unread in my inbox. It's a lot. My second least favorite approach is sending the same thing, but being like, hey, Adam, I saw your profile. I thought you'd like this. Let's hop on a quick call for 15 minutes and I'll tell you about what I do. I was like, that's a terrible offer. So I'm not a big fan of those, simply because a lot of the people that you're going to want to connect with are probably very busy and overwhelmed. So inbound marketing works better than outbound marketing, meaning that if you can create content through posts and through articles and through content and basically using all of the things that LinkedIn makes available to you, that's the best way to have someone come to you. But that doesn't always happen. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you've really optimized your bio so that if your ideal prospect lands on your bio, they're more likely to take action. So for example, if I get a half decent in-mail or message from someone, I may not respond, but I might check out their profile. And if their profile is interesting and engaging and they're active and they've got a lot of content and I read some of it, then I might be more likely to respond. So I would send it that way. Also, I've got nothing against email marketing. Again, just make sure that you're doing it right, because most people just do it wrong. I've got videos on that on the channel as well, how to send good cold email, email marketing, all of those things that'll help take that further. All right, Dr. Rob, what are your thoughts about TikTok ads? I like them. Full story. But I don't like them as much as I do Facebook and Instagram ads, simply because there are exceptions where it's like a really mass market B2C, business to consumer product, chewing gum, water bottles, protein shakers. TikTok ads work really well. But for a lot of other businesses, I just don't like them very much. The conversions just don't seem to be there as well as they do with Facebook ads. That said, here's what TikTok does have. I'm going to Google it in the background. I think it's called the TikTok ads library. Oh no, it's called Top Ads under their Creative Center. So if you type Top Ads, T-O-P ads on TikTok, they will show you the top TikTok ads. Man, are they ever interesting. Like super interesting. Granted, I'm a big marketing geek, but it's like, I love those things. So I watch them, I download them, I transcribe them if they have text. I'm like analyzing them all the time. There's some good ones on there. So yeah, if you're going to do it, pardon me, hang on. Can I mute? I can't. We'll just bear. I got no mute button. If you're going to do TikTok ads, do it that way. Take a look at what they've got. And then also make sure. So Dr. Rob, I'm not sure what you're selling, but if you're selling something that's like a B2C mass market thing, probably cool. If not, I'd probably go Facebook, Instagram. All right. From India. Good stuff, my friend. Good to see you. Oh, yes, Renee. I remember. I've been trying to catch you for a couple weeks now. Yes, I know. It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. 𝗪𝗪𝗂𝗪. Oh, that's the one near the shopping outlets. Perfect. I know it. So 𝗪𝗪𝗂𝗪 on the west coast of Oahu. 𝗪𝗪𝗂𝗪. I'm going to mispronounce everything. Lakia, what should I include inside my marketing portfolio? All right. Great question. What should you include inside a marketing portfolio? Very much dependent on the clients that you're trying to get or the job that you're trying to get. For example, if you're trying to get a web design job, you need web design projects. If you're trying to get a social media job, you need social media posts and content like that. If you're trying to get kind of a catch-all marketing position to show that you know marketing, the best things to include inside your portfolio are everything, meaning probably a solid mix of all kinds of different things. Content you've written, videos that you've made, tweets that have performed well, email follow-up campaigns, etc., etc. The secret, though, if you really, you're gonna need to have either a client or a friend or a family member or do this for yourself. The secret is results. So if you're able to show that you created a social media post that grew a following by 1,000, if you created a social media ad that generated $1,000 in sales, if you're able to create a website that then show how you grew the traffic from 0 to 1,000 a month, whatever it is, people care about results, especially people that know what they're doing. So the more that you're able to tie it into not just results, but also ideally financial results where it grew the business or grew the revenue, the better that you are going to do, the better your portfolio is going to work. All right. Elon, Adam, if you were to start over, whose videos would you watch to learn? Got any recommendations for good marketers? Maybe Adam. Yeah. So it's funny because like the reason that I made the channel, my friend, the reason that I created the YouTube channel was to share the information that I wish I had when I was first getting started. So my big influences back when I was first getting started were, and I'm really fortunate that these were my first influences because they shaped my persona and my ethics and my views and my strategies on marketing in what I believe is a really, really good way. So my first mentors, my first people that I followed and read everything I could get my hands on, Seth Godin, huge. Seth, basically, I use him as like a guiding light. So it's I'm often thinking, would this be good? Would that fly with it? Because it's almost always on the long term and it's always ethical. So Seth Godin, number one. Number two, a lot of Dan Kennedy stuff, because Dan Kennedy is like the king of direct response marketing. And he's the one that made sure that my marketing was accountable. So I wasn't just creating marketing for the sake of making pretty pictures, but it was actually designed to do something. And then I was tracking it and measuring it and double down. Other than that, there's a lot of old school copywriters that I really like Eugene Schwartz, really good stuff. Halbert, Collier, man, there's so many. And then I'll forget all their names. Ogilvy, another really important one. If you get a book called Ogilvy on Advertising, that's a really good book as well. Perry Marshall, very valuable mentor and content. Yeah, those are the ones I would start with. And then my channel, like totally self-serving, biased answer. But honestly, I think there's some good stuff here. And if you don't like it, find other channels. Abed, hey from Jordan. Hey, Abed, I've spent a decent amount of time in Jordan. Cool country. Habiba, my question is, email marketing strategy suggestions from mental health specialist organization to improve conversions. Ooh, that's very specific. Okay. So, email marketing strategy suggestions from a mental health specialist to improve conversions. So here's the deal. When it comes to email marketing, obviously the goal is to improve conversions. But in order to improve conversions, there's a lot of things that need to go into it first. The first of which is making sure that we're building an email list with qualified, interested, relevant people, which means that we are providing something of value, of interest to our ideal target market. One of the worst ways to build an email list, for example, is to give away a free iPad. Get a free iPad, sign up for a chance to win a free iPad, whatever it is. The reason is because you're going to get all kinds of people that are not a good fit. They just want a free iPad. So if you provide something very specific to their pains and problems, you're going to make sure that you have the right kind of people on your list to start with. Next, you need to provide consistent, valuable content because the name of the game is trust. Full stop. Trust. That's the game. You need to make sure that when they see the from line, where this email is coming from, they want to open it. They know it's going to be good. They know that you have their best interest at heart. They look forward to your emails. Then conversions become relatively simple. Like if you can build up a solid brand, you build up trust, you provide value, by the time you have something, a call to action to be like, by the way, sign up for this or do this thing or whatever it is. It's really, I don't want to say easy, but like all of the hard work has been done. Where things get tricky is if you flood your email list with all kinds of leads, you hit them with a whole bunch of offers like get this thing and it's 50% off and get this thing. You do a lot more damage than you do good. So the secret to creating conversions, aside from having a good offer, which we can talk about another time, is really in that trust, which comes from consistently providing value over time. All right, Kumbar, hello from Pakistan. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Jose, first time watching you live, and I like your content. I've been following you since a year ago. Helpful content. Well, Jose, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Jeff, yes, on vacation with the wifey and visiting her side of the family. In the Dominican. Very cool. And you're sweating to death, my friend. Stay cool. Stay cool. Air conditioning. I don't know what we do without. That's why I've got a cough probably. I'm running the AC too much. Corporal Diesel, I just realized how unfriendly my avatar looks. Learned something actionable by just saying hi back. Oh, that's awesome. I don't think you look that unfriendly, but it is funny, right? It's like when we think about marketing and we think about first impressions. Now, fortunately, we've talked a bunch, my friend, so I know you're cool. But it's like those first impressions really do matter. And we like to say don't judge a book by its cover, but accept the fact that everybody does. The reason that marketing is so important, and one of my, I guess another pet peeve, got a lot today, when someone's like, oh, we don't do any marketing. I was like, well, yes, you do, but you're just not aware of it because you're not controlling the narrative of what your customers are saying. So people are thinking things about you. They're saying things about you, but if you don't control or influence or put your best foot forward, it's going to be whatever they think. So that's why we take some control of it. It's the same reason we have a shower before we go out for a nice dinner, so people treat us better. We don't smell and ruin everybody's dinners. That's a weird analogy. Jeff, feel like I'm not making any real progress with my business. I work a lot more now, maybe 3 times, especially creating content. Plus, playing mostly every role in business is not helping. Any advice? Yes. Much advice. All right. There comes a point actually, I've got 2 pieces of advice for you here. There comes a point in every business owner's career where the amount of effort that they're putting in is not being rewarded with equal parts back out. So like you're putting in 3 times more effort, you're not getting 3 times more results. Couple things. Number 1 is that the results from your efforts are always delayed. Personally, I found they're delayed by about 90 days. So anything that I do today, any content I create, any value, any course or video or anything like that, I'm not going to see a return for like 90 days. So I'm aware of that and I'm cool with that. So I know that there's always a lag time to my effort. And it's normally 90 days. Sometimes it's longer. Sometimes it's shorter. But that's step 1. Number 2 is that there is a curve, and I've graphed this out before on the channel, of think of a bell curve, and then think of minimum effective dose, and then diminishing returns on the other side. So minimum effective dose is the least amount that you need to do in order to get some kind of a return, and you do need to push extra hard to get that momentum going in the early stages. This means working 3 times as hard, if not harder. This means like really putting things in to get that sort of system going, to get that steam train rolling. But then once it's rolling, it's a little bit easier. You'll hit a sweet spot. And then after that, you have diminishing returns where you just can't do anymore. In my experience, Most businesses, 99% of them, maybe more, never hit diminishing returns where the more that they're putting in is just leading to less results. There's so much more we can do. Like it's not even funny. So the trick then is knowing that there's so much more we can do. How do we make better use of the time that we have and get better results? And this is where 80/20 comes in. We need to do an 80/20 analysis of everything that you're doing. We need to find the 20% of things that are delivering 80% of results and focus there and make sure that they're getting done first, ideally in the morning, say from 8 a.m. till 12 noon, 4 hours, uninterrupted time on those most 20% things. And then the afternoon, you can do whatever, pick away at things, do other things, but you'll know that you've got your most important stuff done and your results will skyrocket by making sure that you're clear on the things that are actually delivering results. Next part to this, how do you figure that out? For the next 3 days, actually it's Saturday today, so for the next 3 days, 3 regular working days, you need to track your time in 30-minute increments from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. By the time that's done, you need to then go through and categorize which activities were valuable and led to the growth of the business in the best possible way that you're able to hypothesize this, which activities were a waste of time, were not that important, could have been deleted or delegated or deferred to another time. And once you have that, you'll have a list. You can start working on those things first. Your life will get better. All right, Renee, my business is getting tons of clients and I need scaling techniques. I'm a solopreneur and I want to help all these over 50 Black women business owners. I'm a digital and funnel builder and they all probably need help. Okay, so good news, bad news. Where do we start? Start with good news, bad news. Here's the deal. Let's start with the bad news. When it comes to business, you can't serve everyone. That's it. There are certain people that you just cannot help. Nowhere is this more evident than in my personal email inbox. I get so many emails from people that I would just love to help. I look at their business. It looks cool. They've sacrificed everything. They're working really hard. I want to help. It takes everything that I have to not respond. In fact, I'm often not allowed to check my email. I've got my content manager and brand manager and they keep me out of it because I'll be like, yes, I can do it all. And I can't, because if I do all that, then I can't be here now with you. I can't make a video. I can't do other things. I can't help more people in a bigger way if I'm doing one-on-one work. It's the reason I do very little, almost no one-on-one work anymore. It's just I can't have the impact that I want to have. So you're going to have to accept the fact that you can't serve everyone. Now, when you have a supply and demand issue, which is actually a supply and demand opportunity in your case, where the demand exceeds the supply that you have a couple different options. Number one is to raise your rates. That's the easiest one by far, is you're just going to naturally price some people out of the market. By charging more money, you're typically going to be able to do a better job for them as well, because you're going to have more mental bandwidth. You're going to be able to hire better support and so on and so forth. Number two, you could hire someone to help with the fulfillment or the delivery. Certainly the things that you don't enjoy doing or are not good at, get help with those. Use the incoming demand, all the new clients you're going to be getting to hire that help. You won't even have to basically go into debt or pay any extra money because you're just going to funnel that over. The other thing is we just have to be more selective with the people that we're helping, and we have to say no, or we build out a wait list. So all kinds of different options, but sadly we can't help everyone. But that's where we're able to start looking at other things. So raise your rates, work with fewer people, use the free time to create valuable content to serve the other people who couldn't afford working with you one-on-one anyway. All right, Raphael. Hey, Adam, are you into market intelligence? Market intelligence, I assume, a little bit, but you're going to have to specify which aspect and which area so I can give you the right answer. Sharon, I graduated at Midwifery Nursing College. I want to share my information to people and especially to pregnant women. Should I create English content or Kurdish? Because I'm Kurdish. Well, very cool opportunity. Let me tell you a story. A long time ago, back when I was first getting started in the internet marketing world and I was trying everything, I came across an interesting hack on SEO, and we would build these micro websites to sell affiliate products. Certainly not something that I loved doing, certainly not something that I wanted to do forever, but I needed experience and I needed money. So what we did is we wrote these microsites to sell products, and then we translated them into different languages. One of my best examples was a teeth whitening product that we translated into Italian and sold in the Italian market. The reason was the Italian internet marketing market selling affiliate teeth whitening services at the time was basically non-existent, and we made a lot of money serving a market that nobody else was really competing in. Fast forward to today, and that market is relatively saturated. So my advice is, if you're going to create content and we establish there's a large enough Kurdish market for you to double down on your language and your knowledge of that market, I would do that. If there's not, then we do possibly have to look at English or Spanish or French or any of the other larger, more commonly spoken languages, but just know that there's going to be increased competition there as well. All right, Kumar, I'm planning to do my master from abroad. The degree I want to pursue is Masters of Science in Digital Marketing and Data Science or Business Analytics. I'm not sure if there's a question there. You can do that. I have nothing against master's degrees or PhDs or anything like that, but just make sure you know what your goals are and if that's the best path there. So if you're doing it, Kumbar, if I remember, you're living in Pakistan right now. If the goal is to get the master's that'll allow you to move and work abroad, go for it. If the goal is to use it in order to pursue a career in those industries, I would say possibly pass, because there's other ways to do it. You can self-study, and most people don't care that they're hiring. If you have like a master's in digital marketing, they care about experience and results. Diana, hey, good to see you. It's been a while. I've been quiet, but haven't missed any of the lives. Oh, you've been hanging out in the background. Good to see you. Thank you once again for doing these. I got the courage to ask one of my local gyms for a meeting to help them with their marketing. Amazing. Hang on, there's a part 2. I'm going to scan. I'm preparing a PowerPoint presentation where I'm kind of outlining a plan of how I can help them. Do you have any recommendations as to what to include and not to include in a PowerPoint presentation? Oh, that's a cool question. That's a cool question because I haven't done one of those in forever. So what would I include? Let's put on our business owner hat for a second, and we can figure this out together, because I'm sure you could go download like a marketing plan presentation template, like they exist. In fact, I'd probably Google that and see what they have, but they're probably dreadfully boring. Like they're going to have like SWOT analysis and pestle analysis and market research and things like that. Better to have a really, really in-depth conversation with them and figure out what they want and what their problems are. Then put together your research into your solution to those problems. Now, a lot of people are concerned about, look, if I just give them all the research and give them all the stuff, they're just going to do it themselves. They probably won't. They're too busy. They have other things to do. So back in the day when I gave these presentations, this was what I would do. Tell me all your problems, write them all down. Who's your target market? Who do you think it is? I'd get all my research. Then I'd go back and I'd be like, cool. Based on what you told me, your problem is you don't have enough leads, they're not converting, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, your target market is women 30 to 40. Okay, here's what I know. If you don't have enough leads, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to run Facebook ads like this. We don't have to go into all the nitty gritty details, but we need to set up this campaign and this and this and this, and we'll set up retargeting, we'll do SMS, etc. Then at the end, I'd be like, would you like some help with that? And they'd be like, yeah, because we ain't doing that ourselves. And that was essentially my close. I'd be like, cool, here's what it costs, here's what it looks like. I think that should help. Yassine, hello from South Africa. First time watching your live. Hey, good to have you here. Glad you could make it. Sure. Help. Social media for a machinery and equipment auction. Oh, that's amazing. I can think of like a million things right off the top of my head. I'd be like, this is going to be so cheesy, but I'd play into the cheesy aspect. So I'd be like, going once, going twice, 3 times sold. Do you have whatever kind of machinery? I'd be like, from whatever the most common types of machinery are, from drillers to excavators to plows. We've got it all. Come check this out. Here, da. The other thing I would do is I would chat GPT that puppy up. So, okay, what is this? For a machinery and equipment auction. Let me do this now. Chat GPT-4. So I'll be like, write me a Facebook ad for a machinery and equipment auction. I don't know. And make it funny. I should have said make it funny, but we'll see what they have. We're going to come back to that when it's done in a second. Ralph, hello from Northwest Arkansas. Hello, Ralph. I want to partner with micro influencers from my identified niche. What is the best way to identify possible influencers and strategy to approach them? What's your niche? That would be good to know. I might not be able to get to it because we got like 10 minutes left and I got to bail, but your niche would be good to know because a micro influencer, a nano influencer, a small influencer is subjective depending on what niche it's in. So in like the beauty niche, which is the most famous of all influencer niches, like a micro influencer might be 50,000 people. On the other hand, if you're like a dog training niche, a micro influencer might be 2,000 people, in which case you can just send them a message. Be like, hey, I saw your stuff. I have this thing. I was wondering if you have ever worked with a sponsor before, if I can send you a free thing or this et cetera, et cetera. If they're really small and they've not done brand deals before, they will often be willing to start the conversation for product, for smaller amounts of money. If they're more established and they've been doing brand deals for a while, or they're in a very competitive niche, it can cost a fortune to do because their access to their audience, as they know, is worth a lot of money and they don't want to sacrifice their brand. So yeah, send them a message, have a chat. Oh, it's still literally writing out the ad. Come on, ChatGPT. All right, what do we got? Layden, what would be the best targeted audience for an orthodontist appointment Facebook lead ad? So it's different. Orthodontist would be different than dentist. What would be the best audience for that? First of all, if this is an established orthodontist, okay, let me take this right from the top. What's the best targeting audience for something relatively niched, like say an orthodontist? Number one, this business is probably already established, so they probably already have a patient list that I would use to create a lookalike audience from. So I would upload that, create my lookalike audience. That would be one of my top picks. The second thing is if they have any social media presence whatsoever, I'd be building audiences from that presence. So they have Facebook fans, Instagram followers, have people done things, watch certain parts of their videos, et cetera, et cetera. All of those would become audiences I would do as well. Cold interest targeting is going to be a little trickier, but again, because it's say an orthodontist in this case, you're able to target a local area. So if you've got a city of, 100,000 people, 1 million people, you can target an area of 10, 15, 20 miles around wherever the orthodontist office is and use a relatively specific call out being like orthodontist, this, orthodontist, this, looking for orthodontist, et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to get the people that naturally raise their hand and let Facebook do some of the heavy lifting for you. Off the top of my head, I don't think I've ever done like an orthodontist targeted ad. I'm pretty sure there's no like people interested in orthodontistry. I don't even know if that's a thing, but like that's not a targeting option. So you do need to be more creative with people that would be interested in that. But I think those suggestions should help. Okay, good ad, but make it funny. Good. So I'm going back to ChatGPT. I'm going to make them work on things behind the scenes here as we go through this. How would you advertise boring B2B products such as routers, modules, and switches? We talk about this a lot. I like this question. So the question is, how do you do marketing for a boring product, especially in the B2B business to business niche? A modem, a router, equipment, electrical cables, fasteners, connections, et cetera, et cetera. Two things to keep in mind. Number one, the audience that you are creating the marketing for probably does not find this boring. So you might go to a marketing agency and say, look, it's kind of boring, et cetera, et cetera. But to the people that are buying it, this is their livelihood. This is what they do. This is their world. So to them, it's not boring. It's important. So you've got two different approaches that you can take. Number one is you can take the very technical, jargony, insider language approach where you're like, you're this kind of person, you have this kind of problem, we have this thing, et cetera, et cetera. You can lay out all the specifics, all the technical details, all the things they would be very interested in. That's option one. Option two is you take the complete opposite approach and you make it funny. The more boring the business, the more opportunity you have to make it clever and creative and interesting and funny. I used this example last week. The insurance agency is perfect. If you look at Aflac, if you look at Progressive, if you look at State Farm, all of their commercials are relatively funny because they're taking a very, very boring industry and they're finding what's interesting about it or what's clever or what's creative or where they can add their own unique spin. So yeah, it might require a little bit more mental heavy lifting, but again, those are my favorite things to do marketing for, especially if they're in really old, established, traditional industries, because a lot of people will just say, we can't do that. That's not how things work in our industry. And I would argue that you can, and now you must. All right, Mark, can we bulk cold email prospect list generated using LinkedIn email finder websites, and for how long? Okay, so the answer, technically, the answer is kind of maybe, sort of. You've got to check CAN spam laws. You've got to check GDPR. You've got to check all of these different things in order for what you're allowed to say, where you're allowed to get the email addresses from, how many times you're allowed to make contact. I'm not a lawyer, nor do I pretend to be. I don't like this strategy, so I'm not as up to date on the recent laws because I basically don't let my clients or students use it because I don't really like it. That said, I have done it in the past. You definitely want to use software like QuickMail or what's the other one? Woodpecker. There's other ones to use as well. A lot of software doesn't let you do this kind of strategy because it's just bad for everybody. But yes, you can do it. I'm not morally against it by any means. It's just not my most effective one. So take a look, find the laws. Okay, here's the ad for the auction one. So it's like, gear up for the laughs and steals at our machinery and equipment auction. Attention all gearheads, tool-time comedians, and DIY daredevils. Ready for a day full of chuckles, jaw-dropping deals, and machines that make you go, wow. Then join us at the Hail the Sales Gear Machinery Equipment Auction, where we put the fun in functional machinery. That's actually funny. Here's the date, here's the time, what to expect. A hilarious live auctioneer who knows his nuts and bolts and jokes, giggles, guffaws, and great deals on machinery and equipment, blah, 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 blah. I'll try to put this in the description of this live as well, if I remember. Point being, I would test a number of different approaches for it, but nothing is as boring as people say. Everything's interesting to someone. All right. We got 5 minutes. Let me see if I can find a few more that I think are going to help the most amount of people at this point. Elon, what can a new e-com store do to rank higher at SEO? Dropship store to be exact. IK for the short term, it may not be crucial, but I want to enjoy the sweet free traffic. Okay, here's the deal. What can a dropshipping e-com store do short-term SEO? Not much. And the reason, unless it's in an incredibly uncompetitive niche. SEO is one of the more competitive marketing strategies because it is quote unquote free traffic. It's not free because you're going to be spending your time and your energy creating stuff. Also, SEO takes time to work, and the more competitive the industry, the longer it takes. So I can rank a website probably tomorrow for something dumb, like custom hand knit kitten mittens. I got that tomorrow. Nebraska. You want that done? I'll rank it tomorrow. You want something done like credit card financing, one of the most competitive and expensive terms ever. I'm going to be spending 20 grand a month minimum, and I might not crack the first page. I'm still going to need to like bring it down to probably to a city or to a state or something like that. So yeah, not my favorite strategy, certainly not for short term. You're better off, like if you need short-term traffic and you want it now, paid ads. If you've got long-term, SEO is really good. Anything in the midterm, I like a mixture of content marketing and a number of different strategies. Diana, including value by showing them how a funnel works from a client acquisition to lead nurturing increase. Is this too much? I don't want to overwhelm them. Yes, it's probably too much. For most business owners, they don't understand marketing. They don't understand like lead nurturing and conversion and all of this. What they care about is sales and signups. So what I do is I show them something like, hey, this is a Facebook ad. I don't talk down to them, but I'm like, here's a Facebook ad that we're going to put directly in front of your best potential people. I'm going to get them to then call you. That's it. When they call you, we're going to have you sell them on whatever package, promotion, et cetera, it is. That's probably enough. My biggest mistakes in the early days were thinking that everybody cared as much about marketing and knew as much about marketing as I did. And in an attempt to make it look like I knew what I was doing, or show them that I was an expert, I overwhelmed them with complexity, and it never worked because they don't care. And it's, yeah, super confusing. Dennis, there's always a need for service-based businesses. Yes, of some kind, depending on the service, but yes. Let's see. Abed, great question. What is the best strategies we can use in order to build a loyal audience in social media? Loyal in a way that they are really interested in our services. So the name of the game is value and trust. We talked about this in the early stages, but it's like, if you can create content with your market in mind, let me say that right from the beginning. The best way to build a loyal and engaged audience on social media is to essentially remove yourself and your ego from the equation and to think solely and specifically about your potential audience, their problems, their pains, their frustrations. What can you do to give them as much value as humanly possible in a way that allows you to essentially help them build up trust, build up authority and expertise in the space? When you do that, the suggestions that you make, the offers that you make, everything is a lot easier for them to take and more palatable because they already trust you. It was Frank Kern that said the best way to prove to someone that you can help them is by actually helping them, which is true. If you go to two different businesses and one of them solves all of your problems ahead of time, gives you a ton of advice and gives you a ton of strategies, and they're all over social media and they're creating content and they're giving all these things away and they've got videos and podcasts and emails and all that, and the other business is a ghost. They've got a sign out front that's like Bob's Marketing Services. Like, which one are you going to go for? It's such an obvious example, but like, that's the secret. And then do it consistently enough to prove to them and to the algorithms that you're actually here for the long haul. Because you can absolutely succeed on social media today, 100%. You really can. But you've got to be willing to stick it out and to learn what to create, how to create it, and do it long enough again to prove to people that you're actually worth sticking around for. Okay, one more, I think, and then we've got to bail because it's family time. Elizabeth, I sell my program about personal finances to companies for their employees. It seems it's not a very popular topic for companies yet. How is the best way to market my program? I'm using LinkedIn. Elizabeth, I love this question. It's a tough love moment, I'm afraid. Now, I'm not saying that you can't sell this, but let me tell you that the answer to your question lies in the question itself, which is, it seems it's not a very popular topic for companies yet. What that tells me, without knowing more about the program and about other ways to spin it or position or whatever it is, but we're trying to sell something that they just don't want. And we can't make people want something. So if you're constantly running your head against a wall where you're trying to sell something to someone, they're just like, we just don't care, we just don't care, we just don't care, then they just don't care. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is you've got a couple different solutions. The first of which is the easiest, and that is to tailor and to adjust the messaging of what it is you're selling in order to make them care. So maybe they don't care about personal finances for companies' employees. Maybe they don't care about that. But maybe they care about that exact same thing, but framed in a way that makes their employees stay longer or have better job satisfaction or contribute to their 401k or RRSP or whatever it is. Like, there's a way that we can frame the same thing, but put it in a way that they actually care about. So that's step one. Step two is we go to a different market completely. We find someone that actually cares about this kind of thing and we sell it to them instead. Or I guess a quasi part 2.5 to this is we find other companies in different industries that would care about this more, or maybe different market sizes. The worst thing you can do, and the only bad thing to do, is to just keep doing the same thing because it's not going to change. They just, again, you said it, they just don't seem to care yet. They just don't seem to care yet. So we got to do some marketing. We've got to change things up. Okay, that's it. All right, everyone. That was a blast. We had some fun. That was some good questions. Thank you, everyone, for the great questions. It is Saturday, 9 a.m. Hawaii time. I'm back next week. So same bat channel, different bat place. Also, final call to action. If you have not yet subscribed to the new channel, make sure to do that. There's no videos. So I don't know, this is a terrible call to action, but it's there. Let me see if I can pull up a link and I'll drop it down below. It might actually be in the descriptions below this video. Oh, here, I'm going to put it in there anyway in the chat. So what you can do is go subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way, as soon as things are ready, which should be very soon, you'll be able to be the first to do stuff there. Also, fun fact for that channel. My plan is to try to answer some of the questions that we're getting here over there in a slightly, I don't want to say more polished way, because it'll still be me talking to you, but to do it that way, because that way I know I can't catch all the questions here because kids are coming back into the house soon. There's beaches to be seen, last minute sun to catch. But hopefully we can head over there and answer some more questions, as well as some other topics I don't have an opportunity to talk about on the main channel. So with that said, thank you again. I will see you next week back in the regular studio. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.